Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. I'm stepping into my senior project manager shoes today because, well, I spend a huge chunk of my time figuring out how to optimize our workflows, clear roadblocks, and basically just make our team's life easier. And you know what the biggest roadblock is right now? It's not a lack of resources. It's actually figuring out how to properly use the absolute best new resource we have at our disposal, generative AI. We're going to completely reframe how we look at AI prompting today. We need to stop thinking of it as this complex coding thing, right? Instead, think of it as just delegating tasks to a ridiculously capable, super fast digital colleague.
Here is a quick look at our agenda for today. We're hitting mastering the AI conversation, the core 4 components, instructions versus constraints, real-world prompting examples, and finally, the art of iteration. All right, let's jump right in.
Section 1. Mastering the AI conversation. Delegating, not coding.
Let's look at this quote straight from our source guide. Use natural language. Write as if you're speaking to another person. This is honestly the secret sauce. You absolutely do not need to be a prompt engineer or a software developer to unlock the power of generative AI. You literally just need to be a good communicator. If you fire off a brief robotic command, well, you're going to get a robotic generic output. But if you treat the prompt like an actual conversation, expressing complete thoughts, using full sentences, just like you're talking to a direct report, the results are absolutely transformative. It's a total game changer.
Moving right along to Section 2, the core 4 components, building your blueprint.
Think of these 4 steps as your ultimate project delegation checklist. Step 1 is persona. Who is the AI acting as? An executive admin? A marketing director? Step 2 is task. What exactly do you need done? And listen, this is the most critical part. You absolutely must include a clear verb or command here. Step 3 is context. Give it the specific background info it needs to succeed. And finally, Step 4, format. Do you want bullet points, an email draft, a structured agenda? Now, you don't always need to use all 4 of these every single time, but using them consistently, that guarantees a much higher quality output right off the bat.
All right, Section 3. Instructions versus constraints, setting the guardrails.
So, once you've got your core components, you have to know how to keep the AI on track. Think of it like the difference between guiding your colleague and setting strict boundaries. An instruction tells the AI what to do, like, hey, summarize this report. A constraint, on the other hand, tells the AI what its boundaries are. For example, limit the summary to exactly 3 bullet points and avoid using any technical jargon. Setting up that clear contrast between your instructions and your constraints is absolutely crucial. That's how you guarantee accuracy and make sure your digital colleague doesn't just drift off and start hallucinating information that you really don't need.
Okay, Section 4. Real-world prompting examples, the field test.
Let's take this from theory to reality. Picture this. You've just gotten back from an amazing vacation. You sit down, coffee in hand, pop up in your laptop, and boom, your executive inbox is an absolute disaster zone, and you've got a 9 a.m. leadership meeting. Instead of frantically reading and stressing out, you just drop this prompt into your side panel. Summarize emails from my manager from the last week. And just like that, the AI untangles the chaos. It hands you short, digestible summaries with clickable links right to the source emails. Boom. Immediate productivity boost, and honestly, a massive stress reliever.
Let's tackle something a bit heavier, planning a team offsite. Say you need to plan a 3-day offsite in Washington, D.C. for a brand new marketing team. We're talking content, digital, product folks, the whole shebang. Traditionally, that means hours staring at a blank screen, right? Let's see how our blueprint handles it instead.
We break it right down using our core 4. For the persona, I am an executive administrator. For context, our newly formed marketing team is gathering for the very first time in Washington, D.C. for 3 full days. The task? Plan activities for each day that include a solid mix of team bonding and strategic work. And the format? Create a sample agenda. By laying it out perfectly like this, we're setting crystal clear expectations, 0 room for confusion.
And look what we get back. It's an immediate, highly structured daily breakdown. It goes from a 9 a.m. welcome session straight through to targeted strategic alignment meetings in the afternoon. The AI completely nailed the balance between lighthearted team bonding and that deep strategic work we specifically ask for. It gives you this incredible, fully fleshed out baseline to work from. Think about how many hours of drafting and mental energy that just saved you.
Here's another super practical, on-the-go scenario. You're traveling, rushing through the airport, literally scanning your boarding pass when your phone buzzes. It's an invite for the next board meeting.
You've got to reply fast, confirm you'll be there, but also make a specific urgent request. So, you just command, draft an email confirming that I will be at the board meeting. Ask if we can adjust the agenda to give 15 minutes to these urgent topics.
Notice how effortlessly the AI takes that breathless, hurried context and spins it into a totally polished, professional email. It gives you something like, I would like to request a minor adjustment to the agenda. I would appreciate it if we could allocate 15 minutes to discuss a few urgent matters. It's perfectly phrased, super professional, and it took literally seconds to generate while you were shuffling down the jet bridge.
And that brings us to our final section. Section 5, the art of iteration, the polish.
We really need to remember that first drafts are rarely final drafts. Prompting is a linear, iterative conversation. You kick things off with your initial prompt, you review the output to make sure it's clear and accurate, you toss in some follow-up constraints to refine it, and then you do the final polish. Human oversight is absolutely non-negotiable here, folks. Generative AI is here to do the heavy lifting, but the final output and the final responsibility is always yours.
Let's jump back to that offsite agenda for a second. The first draft was solid, but we need some specific team bonding ideas. So we iterate. We add some strict constraints. We ask the AI for 3 different icebreaker activities, but we say, make sure they encourage learning about preferred working styles, ensure they're engaging, and, here's the kicker, make sure they can be completed by a group of exactly 25 people in 30 minutes or less. The AI takes that and hands us a specific superhero profile activity that perfectly fits those strict boundaries. How cool is that?
And hey, iteration doesn't always mean typing out a massive new prompt. Sometimes it's as simple as clicking a button. If your draft isn't quite hitting the mark, you can use built-in UI tools to easily formalize the tone for the execs, elaborate to add some meaty details, or shorten it if it's getting a bit too wordy. You are always safely in the driver's seat, guiding that final product. By mastering this conversational blueprint, really leaning into those core 4 components, applying strict constraints, and iterating like a pro, you are going to reclaim a massive amount of time in your daily workflow. So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If your digital colleague is now handling all the heavy lifting of drafting, summarizing, and scheduling, where are you going to focus all your newly reclaimed strategic energy today? Thanks for joining me for this explainer team. Now go put this blueprint to work.